than a friend. And also what I witnessed, the places I went to, people I met, I tried also to give a very accurate picture of people, life, etc. And when are things that are about myself and my emotions, I put them there and said, these are my opinions.
Sure. Let's give people a little example. There's a young man called Abu Mujahid who you met in Raqqa. His dad was a member of ISIL. His dad was very strict, needless to say. And there's a little paragraph that you can share with us. Give us a sense of what you thought about this young man. What was he doing?
So this man was born to an ISIS fighter before ISIS was named the Islamic groups of Iraq and Sham.
Yeah.
When it was still Al-Qaeda. When he grew up there, and when ISIS crossed the border and came to Syria, they started to relocate fighters from different areas to from Iraq to Syria, back and forth. And his father, with the whole family, was sent in a mission to Raqqa, and I met this very young guy who sounded very interesting to me, because with time I discovered that he's the typical
He's just a kid. He's just a kid, and he likes playing video games, but his dad happens to be a fighter in ISIL. Read us the little paragraph, Marwan. Go ahead.
Yeah, so to this day, I wonder what Abu Mujahid might have been in another world. He was too timid to be a bully. He didn't strut around like a Tunisian fighter, high on other people's fear. He wasn't some ball of social awkwardness from Antwerp, nor desperate for recognition like my nephew, who found in the Kalashnikov an intimate to wriggle him out from beneath the social imprisonment inflicted by his family's older man. Abu Mujahid was simply the son of a father who happened to be an avid jihadist. He was small, calm, nice, innocent. Yes, innocent. It was the innocence that struck into me like a bomb.
And I think that there's something so important about the Abu Mujahid chapter, because when you're dealing with a group that's not only as evil as ISIS, but that is as showy about its evil as ISIS is, that doesn't try to conceal it, there's a tendency for people to say these aren't humans, these are monsters with green skin and tails and horns, and that's something very comforting for people, because if you say that ISIS is apart from humanity, you don't have to acknowledge the potential for evil that lurks in people. And I think that what we were trying to do with the Abu Mujahid chapter is to say, like, no, these are people. These are humans. They're humans that often chose to do incomprehensible evil, but they're humans and they're not apart from the species.
Abu Mujahid, the kid, when he came and at first chance to show the real he, not the one who ISIS basically erased this whole phase in his life, which is teenage life, and he jumped from a kid to a man. And with time, when he kept coming, and first time he saw us smoking and then playing games and all of these things, immediately he wanted this escape. And
so, Marwan, you basically corrupted this young man into being a normal teen boy, smoking and playing video games, but secretly. There is something that, Molly and Marwan, which is remarkable from the way that you two worked. You couldn't be in two more different worlds, but somehow, Molly, you tapped into the world that Marwan was experiencing. For instance, there's a sequence in the book where some women come into the cafe that Marwan is running. He's running an internet cafe. He's very resourceful in Raqqa. And there's this woman that you drew, but also these women. And these women stuck out at me. Can you tell me their story? Their story that you put into that illustration?
the first woman is a woman she's a female ISIS member whose job it was. She reminds me of the ants in The Handmaid's Tale. It was her job to guard other women, including enslaved Yazidi women. And the pair of the other two women, the women whose faces aren't covered, those are Yazidi women who have been kidnapped from Sinjar, a mother and her daughter and then her infant baby. And these women have been brought into Marwan's cafe. These are women who would soon be sold to fighters and raped and go through unimaginable horrors. Women who had seen trauma, the likes of which no human is meant to comprehend, who'd probably seen their male family members murdered. And when I drew this image, Marwan obviously wasn't sitting around taking pictures of these women. So we relied entirely on his memories. And Marwan was so strict with this. He was like, this is not going to be cliche. I don't want something that is degrading to these women's dignity. I don't want something that looks like, you know, some Majana and Child hallmark thing. And I don't want something lurid. I want something that's true. And to do this, I drew them again and again and again. And he would look at them and he'd say, no, make her older, make her younger, make her hands careless. And I would just draw and draw and draw. And this one I'm so proud of, because I think that despite having no reference of what these women looked like, I created something that was close to truth.
Marwan, I want to show our audience some pictures of Molly at work. We have her working ferociously away. And I'm going to show you these pictures because you two worked in a really interesting way. You helped each other with the visuals. You helped each other with the way the memoir was written. It reads like a novel. Who was the pusher? Who was the bossiest, Marwan?
I think I took the liberty to a bit dictate. I mean, only to stick to my memory. I provided references when I could, but when there are no references, I had to make sure that the drawing step by step stays very true to my memory. So Molly would have to at every stage send it to me and be like, did I make this object here, like, you know, same size? Is it located in the right place? Is it, you know, right to, you know, this is how you meant it, or etc. And especially the challenges. I mean, I'm not, I